Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Dr. Angelika Maria Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. So today let's talk about your eyes. Your clear vision is your finest treasure. And if you experience vision problems, then this video may be useful to you. Remember that there are countless of vision symptoms to be explored, and in this video I want to focus on blurred vision only, so enjoy. Just a brief update about Medica Nova, my practice for integrated and educational medicine. We are now offering 3 months health and wellness coaching protocols next to the existing treatment plans. So if you want to explore how to manage your diabetes, a little bit about fitness, maybe weight loss management, and definitely how to quit smoking, this 3 months programs may be the solution. If you want to learn more about my work and maybe learn about homeopathy, health and wellness coaching, integrated mental health, quantum healing, and so much more, have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy, where you will find certified comprehensive home study online courses. And lastly, if you're interested in a personal health consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at health@medicanova.net. I'm happy to help here. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share and like it with your friends and family. And don't forget to click the bell, and that gives you a regular notification every time I feature a new video. So thank you. Let's take a deep dive what blurry vision really means. So blurry vision is very common, and in most cases it's treatable. It's even just maybe a temporary change, but if it's sudden, there may be a little sign of a health concern underneath, and of course contact your physician here. But what is blurry vision? Well, blurry vision can be a loss of focus and sharpness of what you see. It may be in one eye or in both eyes. It may be just in one area of your vision. Maybe the outer field of your vision is affected. It can be maybe nearsightedness, farsightedness, right? It can be any of those. But in most cases, blurry vision is either temporary, it's mild, and a simple sign that your sight isn't perfect. It can be also age-related, right? I have glasses now. But as I said, if it's sudden, then I really would say go and see your physician. I want to go a little bit into the metaphysical meaning about what vision really means. I studied a little bit, made a research online. I found really nice information here. So have you ever asked your eye doctor why your vision is blurry? According to Dr. William Bates, an American physician who practiced ophthalmology and developed what became known today as the Bates method for better eyesight, he said the underlying root cause to almost all vision problems is strain. Strain is like a muscle exertion. In this research and writings, Bates extrapolated on the influence of strain on the refractive errors and vision problems. Now, he focused primarily on mental strain, since he believed vision to be 90% mental and only 10% physical strain. So what is mental strain? Well, as opposed to the physical strain brought on by bad vision, you're squinting or staring, or mental strain is more related to your psychological factors like stress, worry, anxiety. The mental is more important here than the physical, because the mental strain tends to cause the physical strain then to manifest. So think about it like this. The physical strain is at the root of the vision problem, and the mental strain is at the root of the physical strain. So ask yourself, What stops me to see clearly in my life? For example, and that comes now, I find that really fascinating. Mental strain, Dr. Bates examined that, and he took patients and examined them whenever they were lying or not telling the truth. So while examining patients' eyes with his ophthalmoscope, he was able to measure an increased or refractive error, in other words, an increase in blur when he asked them to tell a lie. Now, when they told the truth, there was not much of a change, but right as they began to tell a lie, the refractive error would exaggerate. There was a change in the vision. Another example of mental strain he discovered was looking at something unfamiliar. And we know about that already, but for example, I explain it to you, while examining patients' eyes, in particular those of school children, he once again could measure an increase of refractive error when someone would look at something unfamiliar. Let's say a child learns the geography of the United States at the beginning of the school year and becomes familiar with it. So when the child looks at the map of the United States, throughout the middle of the school year, there's not much change. However, the first time they look at the map of the Europe or Asia, for example, he found that there's a refractive error due to the mental strain that the unfamiliar map brings about. Now I found that really fascinating. So if you have blurry vision, ask yourself a deeper question. Have you ever lied to someone else? Have you ever lied to yourself? Well, yes, we do this all the time, I think. Is there something you are still lying to yourself about? Can you remember how you reacted to learning new subjects and topics growing up throughout school? If you develop blurry vision later in life, maybe you had to learn new things or take in new tasks or even responsibilities to advance your career, but it caused you strain. Maybe some of those things brought on new forms of mental strain that were not present previously. Maybe your current job situation is really deep down not what you want. You don't feel happy, but because you're dependent on the salary, you lie to yourself that, come on, just push through, it's going to get better, blah, 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 and it's not, right? This kind of situations. Are you happy in your relationship? How's about your marriage, right? Or do you have to tell lies in order to get away with things? How about your integrity towards yourself? Right? I think it's very fascinating to look at these deep underlying stories. So certain emotions from the past, like fear, anger, sadness, and grief, can also have a direct effect on your capacity to see clearly. On that note, the organ of our liver has a lot to do with anger or frustration. And the liver has a direct link to your vision. So if you suppress your anger or you're frustrated non-stop, maybe has a lot to do with your vision as well, or the failure of your vision. So try and figure out what types of fears and strains were established in your mind and see if you can observe how that pattern has continued to this day. I researched a little bit about Louise Hay's beautiful, findings here. And she said the eyes represent the capacity to see clearly in the past, in the present, and in the future. So she found that astigmatism, which is very common vision condition today that causes even blurred vision, it occurs when the cornea, the clear front cover of your eye is a little bit irregular shaped and sometimes creates this curvature. Means the I, me, is in trouble. And there's fear of really seeing the self. Right? I found that really, really important to explore. Hyperopia, which means sort of like that people squint when they see nearby objects. Reading, writing, for example, computer work, or drawing for long periods of time may cause this eye strain. it's called hyperopia, would mean the fear of the present. How about myopia, which is then the nearsightedness, which tends to run in the family as well, but far away objects then seem blurry, and the condition may develop gradually or rapidly, means fear of the future. Right? Sort of explore this a little bit. So what are the signs and the symptoms? Well, usually it's an unclear vision at any distance. There may be a lack of detail or focus when you look at something, either near or far. Fuzzy edges maybe, cloudy vision, or floating spots right across your field of vision. Maybe do squinting, rubbing of your eyes. But also there can be simple changes like looking at the sun, or you have a seasonal allergy, right? Or you have an infection in your eyes. Or of course, when you hit towards a stroke, you maybe have slurred speech, and there comes dizziness. Well, we're not talking about that. But I also want to mention here headaches and migraines, so you want to maybe have a look at my previous video from last time. We're really homed in about blurred vision associated with migraine attacks, very common. So what are the causes? Well, already I mentioned astigmatism, hyperopia, myopia, but I would say chronic dry eyes, weight, fatigue, too much sun exposure, eye strain. Pregnancy could maybe cause blurred vision. Of course, I mentioned migraines. Also over-the-counter medication, maybe eye drops, or as you just experienced the LASIK surgery. Of course, the eye floaters, or even adjustment to new glasses, right? Eye infection and diseases I mentioned, if you exposure to wind, for example, seasonal allergies, or any infections of the eye, cataracts, of course. Age-related macular degeneration. I'm not talking about this here in this video, but I just want to emphasize this. Glaucoma, of course. If you have diabetes, your vision can be affected. Of course, stroke and multiple sclerosis. Even just a common sinus infection could do it. What are the conventional treatments? Really, you look at the underlying causes, right, which causes you to have blurred vision, and there's not much what doctors do unless you have a migraine attack and then you get a prescription for this particular symptom, but usually they leave it and it goes by itself, or you adjust your glasses. But I would say if you feel like this has to do with age or overstrain, maybe you want to practice vision exercises, right? They, if you have particular blurry vision due to nearsightedness, farsightedness, again, age-related difficulty, that maybe helps you quite nicely. They call it the Trombone Exercise. So you hold a small object, such as a pin, maybe at arm's length, and then focus on the object as you slowly bring it, back to touch your nose. And then the idea is then stay focused here, right? Keep the muscles aligned on it as you move it back out to arm's length. It means you really train. It's like a little gym for your eye muscles. Also, you can have an eye massage, right? Nicely around the orbit of your eye, maybe relax the facial muscles. I also love, of course, natural supplements here, and I think they can be very useful. If you want to check that out, Dr. Whitaker is very skilled here with his Vision Gold product. I can recommend it here. I used it in my practice. Dr. Axe often suggests vitamin B1, thiamine, vitamin C and E, selenium, zinc. Definitely want to have lutein. Absolutely important here. Of course, calcium and folic acid. You want to bring in lots of omega-3 fatty acids where you really saturate your brain here as well. Beta carotene. Of course, you can drink a carrot juice every day. It really not only gives you a nice little glow in your face, but it's also great for your vision. And then you want to bring in zeaxanthin, which basically is an antioxidant, which you can also get from your diet, from your nutrition. So fresh produce, Right? Either fresh vegetables, of course organic, if you can afford it, but bring in something live food, right? Your eyes, not only give you the spark in your eyes, the light in order to embrace life, but bring in also good fresh nutrition in order to enhance this situation. Citrus fruit, I mentioned, vitamin C, and vitamin E I would bring in as well. Sudden blurred vision, right, and headache, with or without other visual disturbances, of course, can be a sign of migraine onset. And I said, go back to my last video. I talked about this in length there, because there you have the aura and the sensitive to light, maybe the flashing of the lights, the wavy lines, the spots, the halos, and all of that with temporary can impact your vision. But if that has nothing to do with that, then absolutely go and check out your eyes, visit an eye doctor. And I would say do not start any new supplements or herbal remedies unless you have the backup from your eye doctor. So let's talk about homeopathic remedies, which are a fine adjunct to the already suggested natural supplements. Homeopathic remedies are effective, they have no side effects, and the key here is that you match your unique individual symptoms with the symptom or the expression of the homeopathic remedy, which is based on the law likes cures likes. So you want to find a match. So if you have spasms of your ciliary muscles, you want to find a remedy which has spasms of ciliary muscles. Yeah, you got the idea. I'm only focusing on remedies here which you can get hold of on your local health food store, so nothing too complicated. Some of them you maybe have to order online, but you have access to that. Now I also want to use low potencies, over the counter, legally acceptable, and you will maybe find some nice improvements here. You want to focus on the potency 12C or 30 only. And as I said, if you have in doubt or have questions, please contact me at health@medicanova.net. By the way, I really want to thank you for your comments, because it shows that you're engaging in these videos, you want to better your health, you have questions, right? I really welcome you and invite you to come forward and reach out, right? That's what I'm here for. So the first remedy is called Physostigma. That's a Latin name, but it's one of the top homeopathic remedies for myopia. So what you will find with this remedy is nearsightedness, which is progressing quite rapidly. And it's maybe accompanied also by pain around your eye sockets. The person maybe experiences photophobia, bright light is too much, blurred vision, maybe spasm in your ciliary muscles, irritability, and I think this remedy would be a nice tonic. So if you get it in 12C, I would say 1 tablet morning and evening. Try it out for 2 to 3 weeks, but always back it up with your local homeopath or contact me. If you get a 30 potency, I would say 1 tablet daily for 2 to 3 weeks only. If you happen to be in a work occupation which requires fine needlework or nearsighted activities, and I'm not saying that you carve an object on the top of a matchstick, I'm not saying that, but just where your muscles, your eye muscles are strained quite a lot. Maybe think about Ruta graveolens 30. It's a wonderful remedy which relieves the blurred vision and this weakness then of the ciliary muscles, particularly if you sit hours in front of the computer, for example. It's an overuse of the eyes. Another remedy for myopia is Agaricus muscaricus or Agaricus 30. And here the person experienced difficulty reading in a way that often the words or the types seem to move or to swim. right? It's not just like, oh, I can't read it. No, it's like all starts to move. There's double vision for sure, and they're also flickering before the eyes and maybe twitching of the lids of the eyeball. That's very common with this remedy, like little sort of ticks twitching in the eyelid, and the margins of the lids are red and itch and burn. Another remedy which comes to mind for this particular situation is Oleum animale 30. Again for myopia, and includes this blurred vision. There's smarting in the eyes, it means there's a discharge. And often the person here sees glistening bodies before their eye and complains of dim vision. Nearsightedness is accompanied again by twitching of the eyelids, so it can be confused with Agaricus. That's why I say, contact your health practitioner. Now, if you just happen to get out of a cold, flu, I'm not talking about the coronavirus, right? I talk about just natural flu, and you felt heavy and muscle aches, and you hardly could get your head up and you had to sleep. You maybe now have double vision, even when you look sideways particular, and you feel heavy, you have droopy eyelids, the whole muscular apparatus around your eyes is a little bit disturbed and weak, and you feel blurred vision. It may be Gelsemium 30. Very nice remedy here, especially if you have discomfort in the eyes even after accurately adjusted glasses. That could be an overstrain here, right? So there's an orbital neuralgia, we call it, or the concentration twitching of muscles again. There also can be a detached retina from injury or myopia. I talked even glaucoma, but we're not going to talk about this in this video. So there's this slow accommodation of vision, especially after flu. I would say you feel heavy, muscle aches. Everything feels a bit blurry, but also your head feels blurry, because you're suffering from an illness. Gelsemium is a great remedy, same dosage plan as what I said with physostigma. I mentioned last time in the video about headaches, and particular headaches in school children, where the eye muscle becomes stiff and weak, maybe the letters run together. There may be fairy or zigzag appearance around all objects, maybe sparks, black spots, burning in the eyes. Definitely the eyes give out on reading or writing, and the eyes even appear wet with tears, right? They can be even, they call it lacrimation, like watery eyes on coughing or when you go out in the wind. So there is an insufficiency of internal recti muscles, and the vision therefore becomes blurred. Often this blurred vision is related to headaches, and here I would say Natrum muriaticum 30 is a wonderful remedy here. In this case, go back to my previous video about the migraines where I talk a little bit more. This remedy is also very much related to somebody who is introvert, suffers from grief, from loss, relationship breakup, but keeps it more towards oneself. And that's what I was referring to when Dr. Bates' research talked about mental strain. Right? This really affects then the eye muscles. And also with this remedy, I want to say, if you have vision problems related to thyroid problems, like if you have a goiter, for example, Natrum muriaticum would be really, really helpful here. Again, that's a little bit too much for this video, but it's not the simple suggestion here, but I just want to blur it out a little bit too. So retinal images are retained too long here, and again, really of value in recovering power of vision after debilitating illness, which are, I would say, emotionally triggered here. Now, another remedy which comes to mind is phosphorus 30. Now, here we have, it's really effective for myopia again. And if you have a fatigue of the eyes and the head, even when the eyes were not overused or not strained, So here we have a weak eyesight, aversion to light maybe, again photophobia, and also a feeling of having maybe sand in the eyes, which gets better by rubbing, may also be present. Frequent itching in the eyes, profuse lacrimation, again water coming out of the eyes is also present. And I would say it's a good remedy for nearsightedness with this atrophy of the optic nerve. So, it's just gets thinner, it gets weak, it isn't used. That's why these eye exercises are really useful here. It's almost like, as I said, you have to create a little gym, for your eyes. Now, if you suffer from eye floaters, this remedy comes in quite nicely here as well. If your vision is interrupted, spotted vision, again, peripheral vision is affected here, is diminished, and you will find severe eye flashes that are pretty disturbing. Vision spots are viewed easily, and before these spots go worse, you should report, of course, the same to your doctor. But phosphorus could be a good remedy here. So when you go to your local health food store, you see all these products and maybe even eye drops, homeopathic eye drops for floaters. And they can be very useful. Even they can be useful in the terms that they can either reduce or even eliminate the symptoms. But I want to give you a little list of which ingredients to look out for, because that gives you a good idea if the product is really useful or not. The first one would be Cineraria Maritima. It's one of the leading homeopathic ingredients that are quite helpful in supporting the eye circulation. It also removes all kinds of eye toxins, which is really important, as a result of which vision difficulties can be prevented, and that's why I like it. You also want to look out for euphrasia. It's a common homeopathic remedies in general for eye infections, even pink eye in babies, seasonal allergies, where the eyes are affected. But it's a tonic here, which usually is created with the use of this particular ingredient, and it's just has a really nice affinity for eye floaters. And you also want to look out if there's a remedy Causticum called in there. Again, really nice remedy for eye floaters where you also experience tremendous eye pain. Right? It comes to mind here. You have spots, you have cloudiness that can be reduced to a great extent if you find these ingredients in these eye drops. You also want to look out for sepia. Sepia, of course, is a great hormonal remedy. So women going through pregnancy, menopause, anybody who has hormonal issue may be affected with blurred vision. And here you often have a veiled vision, spots, glare, light, blurring streaks and others. Sepia is very effective here. And not to forget, of course, Calcarea phosphorica and Calcarea fluor. You also find them as biochemic, homeopathic cell or tissue salts. Calcarea phosphoricum is indicated for painful and blurry vision. Really nice if you have this feeling where there's a foreign body sensation, like a sand is in the eye, can be easily corrected with it, as well as calc fluor. And here it's about tiny eye capillaries can be strengthened by the means of these specific ingredients. There's other troubles of eyes that can be corrected by the ingredients, or maybe corneal opacity, even cataract, right, blurry vision and others. So if you find eye drops which contains these kind of ingredients, go for it, right? You have the right product. So I think this is plenty information for today. I hope that this short video has inspired you exploring more natural and effective solutions how to heal your blurry vision caused, of course, by often common causes. Now, if you require more help, contact me at health@medicanova.net or at my website medicanova.net to your crystal vision. That's all I'm saying here. And Till next time, much love, take care. I see you soon.